What's up, guys? We're in Minnesota for the Public Land Challenge. We got Joe Rentmeester here from the Hunting Beast, Dan Infalt from the Hunting Beast. Garrett, also known as DIY Sportsman, is going to be here this afternoon, I believe. And we're going to be hunting public land here for the next week or so.
We're calling this the Public Land Challenge. I think it's more than a challenge. It's going to be interesting to see just how other hunting tactics kind of compare. We've all got a little bit different styles, and it's going to be fun to just see how everybody approaches it.
And it's also going to be interesting to see what the different hunters gravitate towards, because we have everything in this area. We have marsh, we have hill country, we have pretty much farmland. So it's going to be interesting to see what all of us gravitate towards in the beginning, and if we change that after a couple days of hunting.
I think a cool thing is too that we're not just doing the easy route and jumping in there in the rut.
Yep.
You know, we're going to hit it in the early season and see what happens.
And the rules are, there are no rules. Basically, anywhere within driving distance is allowed to hunt. I mean, as long as you're following the Michigan. Michigan. Everybody likes Michigan, don't they, Dan? Dan don't want to hear about Michigan anymore. As long as you're following the Minnesota state laws, I mean, you're pretty much fair game. We can drive as far as we want to hunt.
Speaking of state laws.
Oh yeah. You guys know it's a 4-point restriction right here, right?
Oh boy, good thing you told me that.
The whole state ain't, but this area is.
Okay.
Yeah. 4 points on one side.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never hunted an area like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting there if a basket rat comes in with the binos up, kind of like we do in Missouri War, making sure he's got 4 points, and if he does, the bow's definitely gonna be in the hand.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
You got to think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
And obviously you're watching this first video on our channel, but we'll have some videos spread out between the channels, and we'll link off to that below. And basically we're just gonna have people following all of us around with cameras, documenting each day and what the struggles are and what we're learning, so.
Let's do it.
The deer are in trouble. You got a killer group here.
Should be fun. Let's go get some of this coffee, guys.
What's that?
I just asked if you
Worked like a charm.
Oh, I've never hunted in marsh before.
Thanks, Mindy.
I mean, in Ohio, there's not really, I mean, nothing like
You
this.
get a lot of, outside of this area, you get a lot of places that just don't have it.
Place these old girls up there where that title's at or whatever.
I don't get to drive this Hummer very often. Maybe I could be you today.
Yeah.
Hey folks, round 2.
Aaron Warbritton here with you, folks.
Alright guys, it's day 1. Me and Jake are headed out now to go back. Where are we going? Back to the marsh that we were scouting last night?
Yeah, we dabbled around a bit there last night.
We drove over there, me, Jake, and Joe did, and Jake actually tried to get permission to walk through some private to get to the back of this marsh, and wasn't able to, but learned some good stuff.
Yeah, the guy I talked to, his son was a taxidermist, so, and as soon as I walked in, he had a nice buck hanging on the wall there. And he said his son actually has a full body mount of a buck that he shot behind the house, so I'd imagine there's some pretty good ones back in there. There has been in the past.
Yep, and they're definitely coming in and hunting from there because they didn't allow us to access through there.
Yep.
So we've got to find another way to get to the back of this marsh. Basically what we've got here is, I don't know how many thousands of acres of public land. It's hard telling where Dan and Joe are right now. They could be headed to the other side of the state. It's hard telling them. But Jake and I are hunting pretty close to camp, or that's the spot that we're going to right now. We like the looks of this marsh because it's an area where there's a lot of diverse type of habitat. There's a lot of crops over there. There's still some green soybeans.
Yep.
It looks like it's really hard to access because of all the water. And early season like this, we may be able to get up high and observe out across this marsh. As y'all can hear right now, it's raining. It's supposed to storm all day. It's supposed to be kind of warm today. Not saying that we can't kill them today. We're definitely gonna try here at some point, but what we're getting ready to do is more of a scouting mission.
Well, there's a lot of bugs, a lot of mosquitoes, but we got us a rub right here.
Fresh one. First one I've seen this year. It's a fresh one. They've been here within the last 2 weeks. That's what's nice about early season.
Rain jacket.
We better go.
Not good. Not good. You look like a wet dog.
I feel like a wet dog. At least the camera's okay.
At least the camera may be okay. There's a little bit of moisture on it, but I think I absorbed most of it.
Needed a shower anyway.
Yeah, don't mind it. And of course, about the time we get back up here to the Hummer, the skies are nice and blue, clear behind this thing. Oh well, we're gonna go scout another spot now.
Better with him filming it.
Yep.
Over the shoulder kind of stuff.
Yep.
So what I'm looking at here is we've got a variety of terrains, and you got to look at the time of the year.
Yep.
The acorns drop pretty heavy.
Yep.
And I think that the hills and stuff, those deer aren't going to move. They're going to sit on those acorns.
Right.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard hunting. But I think in the swamps, the acorns are a boom because there's going to be those little isolated patches.
Yep.
Kind of like what we do back home. So get on those isolated patches of oak. So we should look at these swamps, specifically look for oak trees.
Yep.
Drive around them, find little patches of them, go in and scout those oak tree groves.
Yep.
And
do a perimeter check on it.
yeah, I think we'll get on deer real quick on that.
Yep. Okay. It's rained quite a bit, but you can see there's just a few tracks there. At least we know there's something in here.
Smaller buck could just bend a tree over and rub that eye, but there's a rub line here from years past.
Yep.
I saw some old ones going in, so I don't know. Looks like we're getting pressure back here. I don't like this spot a lot. I want to get to the swamps. There's too many acorns in here and too much pressure. This dry land's probably got guys all over it. I mean, 4 days of hunting season, and you can see how packed down that parking lot was. I would have probably just drove away, but I know Joe was looking at this property, so let him get his look and then let's hit the swamps, right? Yeah.
Okay, now I know where we're going. Yep, we gotta go straight.
Looks like there's corn back there too. I mean, if this was a giant bean field, I wouldn't expect this much browse.
No,
We lose Teddy.
we're filming through the bushes. So one thing we were just talking about that we noticed is if you look at, we think these are all stinging nettles in here, but if you look at them, they're actually browsed on.
If you look at the size of this area and the amount of browse in here, I mean, you wouldn't see this much in a bean field.
No.
So there's just some heavy browse going on here.
Yep.
So our goal is going to be to find where those deer are coming from.
Yes.
What is nice too is that parking lot is situated. Number one, it's pretty overlooked. We didn't even know it was a parking lot until we got in there. It almost looked like we were trespassing until we got back there and figured out where we were at. So not a lot of people are hunting there. And when they do, it's leading them out into the woods that way. So I think this looks like it has some potential.
These are his beast sticks. I don't know if you saw them yet.
Oh, nice.
But be a little different, a little learning experience. Get it the way I want it.
It's good.
Screw around so much. Getting ready.
Us every time.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
So we scouted a place about 1,000,000 miles from here because Joe liked it, and that spot sucked.
I don't like it. I don't like it anymore.
I really felt we had to concentrate on swamps because it's going to be hard to get them to move any distance in the oaks, in the hills. We found a swamp along the river. That looks decent. There's a lot of deer sign in there and a lot of old rubs, but not new ones. But they've only been out of velvet for 2 weeks. But the old rubs, so many big bucks have been in there. There's a lot of browse sign, so there's been a lot of deer in there feeding. And we jumped a couple. One of them sounded like a lone buck, came off of a point, ran into the cattails, and there's a okay amount of sign there, not a lot, but an okay amount. And Joe said he'd like to hunt that, and I'm more the wandering type, so I think I'm going to wander down the transition a little bit and see if I can't find something, and just scout and hang when I find it. So that's the plan. Whether we can kill one or not is a different story. We'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I got a tip for all the viewers. Every time you go out hunting, especially in this warm weather, you really got to spray down. I prefer deep woods off. That's what I spray with. Always got to get the whole tip of the day. I ain't finding much for sign, but it might be all washed out, I'm not sure. But I do see a point up ahead, hopefully there's something there. Not seeing a whole lot of action. We ran into 2 rubs out here and we jumped 1 buck. And it's probably the buck that made those rubs that we jumped. I think all the sign I'm seeing on the food sources is probably does and fawns. And with all the tracks being washed out, it's hard to tell. But I'm going to stay with the mission and just keep scouting ahead. I'm a long ways from the truck and I'm just going to scout my way around this thing and see what I find. Transition lines along there. I see a point coming out there, trees mixed with cattails. I'm going to try that. Look over there and see what is coming in and out of that. But a lot of this stuff looks good and really doesn't seem to be showing much sign. Back home, this would be loaded with deer. Alright, here's my setup. Notice how I wrap the straps in like that, tuck them in. That's keep them from blowing in the breeze and having the deer notice them and look up the tree and see ya. I went 5 sticks high. I got a pretty high setup, but I want to see what's going on way out there. And it's kind of a swirly wind, so I just want to get up high. The one trail I had a tracks on is right over there. The trail come through here, you can see the old rub on it. There's a couple trails going through here. It's all coming right out of this stuff that's going out into the cattails. I mean, by no standards is it a lot of sign, but it's the best of what I'm on to right now, so I'm going to set it.
So we finally made it up into the tree here. It's kind of naked in here, and we've got 2 guys, obviously. So we got in a tree here with a little split to it. And basically, we're kind of sitting on a point that goes that way, and there's another point that goes that way. The point that goes that way is where we heard that deer crashing off before. And I don't know, maybe it'll come back, we'll see. There's a lot of old rubs in here from last year. So, it's definitely holding bucks. There's cattails that way for quite a few miles, I would say, but we'll see what happens, I suppose.
Yeah, the charging's off.
All right, me and Jake came back. We got the ghillie suits and we're gonna head back out. We just checked the weather and the storms that we're supposed to get tonight got pushed back just a little bit. So that was kind of the determining factor whether or not we were gonna go in and try to kill one tonight, and looks like we're gonna have an opportunity to go hunting. So we're headed out. Sounds like Dan and Joe are probably already in the tree at this point. So they found some good stuff today.
We got wind cover and it's super damp, so we're not going to make hardly any noise going in. We can just take our time. And
it's supposed to be 10-15 mile an hour all evening. Maybe we can whack one before the storm rolls in here.
we better get a move on.
Yeah, we better.
Well, we just kicked up our first deer. We haven't jumped a deer all day. I mean, we're seeing all this sign, but we haven't kicked up a deer, and that was kind of surprising. So we're hoping to find some more rubs or something like that along this edge where we could we could tuck in here really easy and have a bunch of cover. Well, we got back into the spot that we were hoping to find some more sign in once we got further into it. And I think that rub on the edge of the field up there might have been a little bit misleading because we haven't found anything. Neither Aaron or I are very confident in setting up right here, so we might pull the plug and go try to just observe something, maybe call tonight a loss. If we could at least learn something before the cold front that's coming in tomorrow, that could be beneficial for us. So I think we're gonna hustle out of here and try to go get some eyes on some deer at least. Nice buck. What? Nice buck. Let's get up here. Way on the other side. Nice buck though. Yep. We saw a nice buck. We had to walk about 8 miles and eventually saw him 300 yards over onto the private, but at least we saw a nice one. Let's go get set up. There might be more around here. There definitely might be. We're gonna try to get down this edge a little further yet. Well, after we realized that first spot looked like pretty much a bust, we went back to where we first started scouting this piece this morning, where we cut that track, that really fresh track just after the rain. It was only probably 50 yards that way. I guess the theory behind it is either we bumped that buck or he was just getting up in the middle of the day. Either way, he was walking. He wasn't running if he was spooked from us. So I guess the hope is that buck didn't go far and he's not bedded very far away. It very well could be that buck on the other side of the field too, but we can see quite a ways down here. There's tons of trails coming out onto this cornfield through the CRP. So I think it would take a lot of luck, but something could come through here yet tonight. We don't have a whole lot of time. Well, our luck continues tonight. The coyotes are going off in the background and they're actually howling at the tornado sirens, I think. Aaron's phone just got a text that we're under a tornado warning, so tonight's hunt's going to be cut a little more short than we had hoped. So we're going to go back and possibly pack up camp here, because I don't know if the tent's going to make it through this storm. It looks pretty brutal. All right, see ya. That was Greg. He's in town, getting ready to batten down the hatches, sounds like. So there it is.
I got a little bit wet this time. It started pouring as I was getting to the truck. We got severe weather warnings while we were on stand. Come through the phone to take cover. And I stayed in the stand till it was closing time and started hoofing it back. And it's a long hoof and I was using compass, so I missed a little bit. Got caught in the rain a little bit, but I got back to the truck and I had to come double the ways that Joe had to come and Teddy. And I've been waiting quite a bit and it is just storming out there. I hope they're okay. They don't answer the phone. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but there's just this torrential rain, thunder, lightning. And they're out there wandering around in this crap. First time on the property. The excitement of a road trip, right? Hey, it's been 9 days. I needed a shower. Now I'm good for another 9 days. No, there they are. They are coming. They're alive. What's going on, Teddy? You get your shower in?
Oh yeah. I dropped my soap.
You guys are out there for a while.
Yeah.
I was sitting here laughing because I keep getting tornado alerts.
Yeah, we just,
severe weather. You know, I was out twice as far as you guys, and I beat you guys here by quite a bit.
Yeah. We got that tornado thing as soon as we started packing up.
You got your laptop handy in here? I'd like to watch Zach's hunt. Or
It's in the back seat. It's in the back seat.
I've got mine.
You didn't have any tents left after this?
It's a good question, Logan. Probably not.
I'm a little worried.
We just bailed on camp. We said nope. Loaded everything up and said we're just going to come back to Old Trusty here.
Go freak people out with their face paint on in there.
I'm a little scared myself. Just hanging out in Mickey D's once again. Me and Jake, we're just here trying to fit in.
Always.
Just practicing for Halloween.
Yeah. Your favorite day to hunt. That's not true at all.
November 7th is your favorite day to hunt.
Buddy's watching Zach's hunt for the second time, he said.
Tornado warning. And I get online and look, and it's a watch. And I felt a little bit better. Like, Greg called me, and it's just like, I look over, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that.
Dude, we were looking at the radar, and the storm stretches from Texas all the way up to like Manitoba, Canada.
It's
The
nuts.
whole band
It's
of it.
nuts.
All right, guys, we're back at camp. We're getting ready to shut it down for the night. We didn't wash away. Jake's in here finishing up capturing footage right now before we hit the sack for the night. But I think we were the only ones that saw a buck tonight. Dan and Joe got skunked and then almost blown away by the storm at last light, it sounds like. And obviously Jake and I had to run out of the woods, but Garrett's going to be here in the morning. And after this weather blows through tonight, we're going to get some really good conditions tomorrow. It's supposed to be winds out of the northwest, highs in the high 50s, low 60s. Should be perfect weather, and everybody will be here in camp. Everybody's going to be in the woods, so hopefully we'll start getting these Minnesota bucks figured out here real soon for you guys. But for now, we're going to hit the hay and see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.